Dear ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to start our press conference, and a very interesting game between Peter Svidler and Sergey Karjakin just finished in a draw.
Hörmətli tamaşaçılar, Sergey Karjakin ilə Peter Svidler arasında bizə artıq başa çatan növbəti oyunda heç-heçə ilə başa çatmışdı.
First of all, my question is who was trying to surprise whom in the opening, because both
Kim kimi
of you...
debitdə təəccübləndirməyə çalışırdı.
I would have preferred to have won the game, but I mean, currently I'm slightly sad. But I'm very happy I have no memory left whatsoever, because basically this position is in my files, the files I actually looked at today.
Bugün mənim fayllarımda var idi.
And Queen E2 is one of the two main moves. And after Queen E2, I realized I have no idea what the file says.
Vəzir E2-dən sonra faylda baxdıqlarım ümumiyyətlə yadıma gəlmir.
Totally ridiculous. It shouldn't be like that.
Belə olmamalıydı.
And then I started thinking, because there are many options. I can play bishop e6, I can play knight g4. There are many moves here, but none of them seem particularly satisfying. And then I spotted this idea, which I think, you know, if this works, this is very, very interesting. But it's definitely not something I knew. I spent something like half an hour on knight h5.
Maybe it's sometimes good to forget your
files. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm very happy I have no memory left whatsoever. I mean, I'm like an invalid. I actually looked at this today. I should be able to remember the first move, but no. But knight h5 is an interesting idea.
Yeah, I was considering bishop d5
no,
for a very long time.
This is the most critical, yeah. I mean, it all depends on what's going on here. But bishop finally, I thought bishop h3, knight b3, and maybe bishop g2.
Yeah, bishop g2, exactly.
And I thought this is potentially quite good for me. But, I mean, it's a huge mess, but I think after queen c5, queen g6, it works out for me. Knight h4, queen g4.
I didn't see the defense already.
Yeah, bishop f4, probably bishop f3 is... No, bishop f3 is not made, but I can take ef.
Yeah,
the problem is I can take ef, and knight g2, f3, I'm just in time. So, I mean, if this works for black, then you cannot play bishop d5, and then the whole idea probably is quite decent, because after knight c4, queen f6, I mean, knight e3 is... I was completely mystified by what you were doing, but, I mean...
Yeah, but what else?
I thought normal move is bishop e3 here.
Knight f4.
Knight f4 takes, and play knight e3 here. I have to, I think, play knight d4. Takes. And for instance, you have c3, and the position will be more or less completely equal. Maybe you have slight pull, maybe not. Or you can play knight d5, queen g5, queen f3. But this I thought was okay for me, because I can just take and go back to d4. And I mean, I thought that was okay, but basically I should not be better. And after knight e3, I have not one but two options which I think give me advantage, because my first idea was just to play knight d4 without thinking.
Yeah, what I didn't see after queen
c5.
It's very strange, because if I start with this, I think you're okay after king g2. I think, and it's some kind of a draw. Because knight f4, I think you absolutely have to go forward, but this seemed to hold for you somehow.
Oh, but I thought why not king f1?
King f1 loses on the spot, no? Come on.
Queen f3.
You can just resign here.
Really?
Yeah, no, but this is completely lost. If you could play like this, I mean, no, I mean this is completely lost, because knight g5, bishop g4, I give mate, and knight f5. For instance, queen h1, queen e4 wins on the spot.
But knight g2?
What?
Knight g2, knight f4?
Knight g2, the simplest way is to go knight f4, yeah. Bishop f4, bishop h3. I think it's just mate, to be honest. Or maybe I have time for this also. I mean, and bishop h3 is kind of hard to stop, you know. No, I mean, you absolutely have to go forward. But I think this might be holding for you. Because queen g5, knight g4, and I don't know. So maybe I have to go knight h5 check, and it's a draw. But more interesting is, of course, to start with this. And now gh, knight f3, I think is completely resignable. So I think you have to go king f1, knight f3, and now you have to go knight d5. Knight h2, king e2, bishop g4 check. And for instance, f3, I thought bishop f3, king g3. But I think maybe I'm winning after queen h4. So I was very, very comfortable with all this, to be honest. But then I thought after knight d4 you can take.
Sonra galip geldiğimi düşünürdüm.
And you can play knight f5, bishop f5, e5, queen f5, and now some move like bishop e3 or bishop f4, and try to sort of.
Okay, you're better.
Yes, but that's why I was so mystified, because basically I have a choice between two moves here, both of which seem to be sort of between better and winning for me. So, and the thing was, it would be probably better for me to have one such move here, because then I wouldn't have to spend so much time. I took something like maybe 30 minutes again on knight takes g2 simply because both things look so attractive. It's just, it was impossible to choose. But finally I thought this is just winning on the spot, because you cannot take with the knight, obviously, yeah, because I take, you take on c5, I take on h3, knight e3 and rook d8. And I thought this was completely winning because queen c6, queen d6 I think is the only move, but I should eventually win this position somehow because the king is so weak. So king g2, and we get to this position, and I was absolutely convinced this was completely winning. I couldn't see any defense, but after rook f1, I had maybe 40 minutes left, and I spent yet another half an hour on the next move, and I couldn't find anything. I think it kind of depends on what we were discussing. Yeah, rook d8. I almost played this immediately because I thought, okay, queen c5, queen h5, king g2, rook d6. I should be winning completely, but then I realized you have f3. Rook g6, knight g4, and now rook takes g4 is a perpetual, or I can take on f3. King f3 and take with the rook. And once again, I have no idea what this is.
It should be a draw. I mean, I have a lot of moves here.
Yeah.
Even king f2.
Probably something like king f2 will eventually hold. Yeah, I don't think I will win this position somehow, because I only have two attacking pieces, and once the king gets to e1, it will be hard to give a lot of checks. And also, I might even run out of checks. You know, something. I mean, I don't even see any immediate draw for me here. You know, my problem was I thought, you know, if I go for this and there's no perpetual, I will look incredibly silly. Of course,
you also check another.
I mean, I can, you know, I am never losing. I mean, there's a draw even here, but what do you mean? Where?
I mean, here the fourth line, queen f4 and queen takes on e4. Let's say.
Yeah, but first of all,
it's forced. Let's say, can you check?
I wasn't so in love with the idea of taking on e4 in general, because I thought if I take on e4, yeah, but it's difficult. It's difficult to figure out. I mean, maybe the machine says I'm winning here, but I couldn't see how. Yeah, maybe here you can. Maybe knight 6 is very strong. Yeah. But once again, I didn't want to allow white to return with any of his pieces. I mean, it looks like, you know, I'm allowing some pieces to come back. And also, I missed something very simple. Basically, I spent half an hour, because I was checking all these moves. I was checking bishop a7, for instance, which I think is a very decent move, but I think you have to go knight f5. Did you consider bishop a7?
Bishop a7, no. No, okay, I was very concentrating on rook d8.
No, also I think c3 maybe is okay even here, but I wasn't sure. But my biggest problem was you can play knight f5, and now the difference is, I mean, it's a legal move because there's no e4 check there. And if I take bishop f2, you have queen d3. Mm-hmm. And this is not mate, and if it's not mate, once again, I might actually be worse, because the attack kind of collapses. And I thought rook a d8. This was very attractive. But then we played knight g3. And I mean, I have a fantastic initiative here, because your next move is not obvious. But let's say I can play h5 even. But it was very hard for me, because it stops being completely forced. You know, we're both making moves, and maybe I'm winning, maybe I'm not. And also, probably c3 is quite strong here, but I don't know. And finally, I thought, okay, I will play bishop d6, because the idea was to meet c3. Knight f5 is now impossible, of course, because there's e4 check, and the idea was to play c3, rook a e8. And I thought, you know, this is very clever, because you cannot take the knight, and I win one tempo, and then if the rook comes to e6, the game is over. But I forgot about bishop d1, which is a problem. So I don't know, maybe here already, I mean, I have to, you know, if I had like an hour left, I can, you know, in the final position, I can take on b3, queen b3, queen e4, and we can.
C4.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure at all I was better, to be honest. Queen c4, not queen d5. Queen c4 is very precise. And after queen g6, for instance, queen g4. And I have to go into an endgame. And the endgame will be, I think,